Good day everybody. Welcome back to another little chin wag. Sorry, a bit wobbly there with the camera. Beautiful views behind. I've just had a stunning little walk to Lulworth Cove here on the south coast of England. Absolutely beautiful. So I was just walking along the cliff edges there, and now I'm going back inland. Anyways, today's chin wag, folks. I thought I'd just stop quickly to do this. Hang on, there's a little hair on there. I've just been hiking a fair bit along the coast here on my own, and I've passed a fair few people. Because it's quite a remote part of the coastline, in certain parts you don't get many people there, but the people that I've passed been very pleasant, you know, very hello, how you doing, where you going, you know, just creating a conversation basically about where you're going and what you're doing there and things like that. Even if it was just a quick hello, you know, it was a hello. I'm going to go on a rant, folks, I think, a little bit. When I got to Lulworth Cove, which is a very, very popular spot, and loads of people go there because the car park is there, you know, that's where the car park is, so it's a very easy part of the coastline to get to. Beautiful, beautiful place. And there's also a nearby place called Durdledore, which, again, many people there. So when I just started approaching these places, coming from an area where, like now, there's not many people, do you know what I mean? You have to walk quite far to get here. That's why there's no one here. But when you get to places where you can park, there's many people. So yes, as soon as I kind of got there, I started walking past people and saying hello, and none of them really were replying, or no response, or just no communication there, you know. Not all of them, I'd say 90% of them, 10% of them maybe said hello, but so many people kind of walked past me, looked at me, gave me eye contact. I went, hiya, you're right, hello, and just nothing back, just stare, and then just carried on walking. Now that's all good, whatever, everyone's different, you know, everyone's got their own ways of dealing with things and approaching things. But from where I'm from, if someone kind of says hello to you or asks you how you doing, you kind of respond, you know, you at least say yeah, fine, or something. What I'm finding with a lot of people now, the majority of people, and I'm finding it people that seem to be on a different planet to me a little bit, you know, I don't know how to explain that, but there's just nothing there, there's no response, and to me it's baffling. It's almost like I just said, it's like we're on a different planet, you know. Whether I'm too outgoing, I don't know. I don't think so. I'm from a little village, so I'm used to saying hello to people and all of that kind of stuff. But I truly believe, folks, I really believe that since we've become immersed in technology, which I immerse myself in technology, don't get me wrong, I do, obviously, doing videos and photography and all of this kind of stuff. But I think, especially with the younger generation, there's like, they struggle to communicate. They're struggling to communicate or even say hello, because most of their communication is done online, on social media, or, you know, some kind of platform that's online where you're typing and there's no voice needed, so to speak. Now, I could be totally wrong here, you know, but I kind of made a point today when I was in Durdledore and Lulworth Cove to actually see how many people responded and the kind of responses I got, you know. One guy I went past, he had a cup of tea, a takeaway cup of tea in his hand, and I was just getting to Durdledore, and I was dying for a brew, I was dying for a cup of tea, and he kind of gave me eye contact, and I gave him eye contact for a second or two, and then I said to him, how far to the cafe, you know, how long have I got until I can get a cup of tea? And he just kind of looked at me and then looked away and carried on walking. And he was definitely English, because I heard him speaking English a bit later on. I don't know. Do you guys get this? Do you guys notice this? Like I say, when I'm kind of out in remote places and you bump into someone at like a hiker or someone, yeah, when you meet someone kind of that's doing the same thing as you, for example, you seem to get a more of a conversation, and they don't seem to be as engaged in technology and things like that, you know. But when I get to the masses, so to speak, I hate to say that word, but when I'm around a lot of people, like, I find there's not a lot of common sense sometimes, and there's not a lot of communication or wanting to communicate or anything like that. I don't know. Please tell me if you guys feel this at all. Maybe I'm just on my own here and I'm just a little loner, you know? But I just, yeah, it fascinates me. Do you know what I mean? It really, really fascinates me how I'm just noticing this change. And I think especially since the pandemic, I've noticed it. I just don't know if people are just afraid of communicating, or I don't know, even some people look at you strange, you know, and that's what makes me think, am I just like too outgoing? Am I too am I too forward? I don't know, maybe I am. Maybe it is a bit strange, a stranger coming up to you and saying, hey, how you doing? Even though it's just walking past you on a path, just making a, you know, making a situation unawkward, basically. Anyway, folks, that's what I've noticed. I put it to the test a little bit today just to see how people would respond when I just walk past them, and kind of not all of them, mind you, like I say, not all of them. Many of them made up a little conversation, or said hello at least, but I did find it was the more elderly folk that were doing that, you know. It wasn't the younger types. The younger folks. Anyway, look at this, the Jurassic Coast, just outside of Durdledore and Lulworth Cove, which is down that way. I'm heading back this way, which there's many cows in my way, who I'm gonna have to disturb and tell them to get out of my way because I need to get past, or I jump over the fence. Anyway, folks, let me know your thoughts about this one. I truly believe technology and lack of proper human to human communication and that kind of thing is disappearing, and people are kind of struggling with it. I don't know. Anyways, the sun is in my face, folks. I'm getting my vitamin D as I speak. There she is, the old vitamin D. Until the next one, folks, stay chirpy. Peace.